Hey cruisers, welcome back to Vlogtoberfest. I hope you're all doing well. I've had the best time hanging out in the chat with all of our early birds. Oops, I gotta fix my monitor. 1 second, guys, sorry about that. Sometimes we have a little technical glitch on my computer when I'm in the chat with you guys early. My YouTube starts playing and I have to turn it off so that I don't ruin our broadcast here. So welcome everybody, so good to have you here to talk about getting a great deal on a cruise tonight. Tonight's episode is sponsored by cruiseline.com, where you can compare prices with easy to use cruise search. You can check out tons of different sites, you can set up a price alert, and you guys already know how I feel about it. And it is no surprise that that tactic is making its way into our top 10 ways to get a good deal on a cruise tonight, because it works. It keeps you up to date on all the latest prices from your very sailing on your very ship. So you know that that's going to come up a little bit later. All right, you guys, how is everybody doing? Fall is in the air. I'm loving it. When I drove home from work tonight, it was only 70 degrees instead of 96 degrees, which has been the norm lately. So I'm loving it. Got my LaCroix tonight. Let me know throughout the live chat tonight, you guys, what some of your cruise bargain strategies are as well. We want this to be an hour-long powerhouse of information, so bring it. We want to hear your tips too. So my number one tip tonight, you guys, that I'm curious to hear what you all think about, because we're talking about strategies that I may or may not use. Some of these ways to get cruise bargains are things that I use all the time, and some of them are absolutely not. So I want to know what you guys think about this first one. What do you think about bargain cruise tip number one, and that is waiting for a last minute deal? Do you think that's a good strategy? All right, let's see what everybody thinks in the chat, but I will tell you right now that it is not a strategy that I like to employ. So we're starting off with kind of a negative tonight. I think it's a little bit too risky for me. I like to have that perfect week picked out for a cruise, and you can't do that necessarily when you're waiting for a last minute deal. It's very risky, so it's not really my favorite strategy. Now, that's not to say that you can't take advantage of a good situation. I know a lot of cruise lines have last minute deals still, and a lot of them don't. I know that many cruise lines are kind of cracking down on that strategy, Royal Caribbean being one of them, where they really price control things, and you really are going to get the best deal on your cruise when you book it the very, very earliest that you possibly can. So right when those bookings are released, maybe 12 to 18 months in advance of the sailing, is when you're going to get your best deal. Now, that's not to say that you can't get some kind of a last minute deal. For example, I get emails from Princess all the time with last minute deals. I'm trying to remember what they call them. Can you remember what Princess calls their last minute deals? I feel like they call them something like, gosh, it's something in Save, but it's definitely marketed towards people who can jump on a ship within probably 30 to 45 days notice. So it's risky, but I think sometimes it can be a really good strategy if you're a flexible traveler. I think it's an excellent thing for someone who may be in retirement, but it's not right for everybody. All right, let's hear what everybody else is having to say about that. All right, what's that? Yeah, you guys want to see the chat on the screen? Let's do it. We're going to roll the chat on the screen right now. We got really good reviews from everybody about doing that last week. We have very few people said that they didn't like it. I think most of you like to see, when we're watching the replay, you like to see the chat rolling, because there's so much that can be missed. I can't possibly read back every comment, but it's really exciting. Okay, somebody gave me the name of the discount. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Elizabeth Jordan told me Princess's last minute deals are called Drop and Go. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was called. That's exactly what it is, the Drop and Go deals, and they have some really good ones. So I want to tell you guys that I think you heard me saying last week that I actually had a price alert set up on cruiseline.com for my Panama Canal sailing that's coming up next month. And my cruiseline.com price alert came in and told me that the prices had gone down. And then I went onto Princess's website and saw the Drop and Go deal, called my travel agent, and even though I'd already made final payment, the cruise line was able to honor rebooking us and keeping our perks. So you got to be in good communication with your travel agent and give it a try. You have to at least try, right? Okay, so I want to see what everybody has to say about this. Yep. Antonella, I feel the same way. Antonella's not into tip number 1. Antonella's a planner and can't do last minute cruises. I know, I can't do it either. Last minute, according to Charity, last minute is too risky if you really want to go on that cruise or you're picky about your room type. Yes, very, very true. So true, you guys. Okay, so Courtney Bell wants to know if I've ever tried to get a last minute deal. Honestly, Courtney, I haven't, because I plan everything ahead so much in my life. You know, with work and things like that, you have to know when you're going to travel. So it's not something that I normally do. All right, cool. You guys are giving some great tips. Do we have the chat rolling on the screen right now so everybody can see? So those of you who are watching in the replay, you will notice that every week here on Cruise Tips TV, when we do these live streams, we are not the only ones sharing information. So there are literally right now hundreds of people in the live chat who are range in level of cruising knowledge from absolute expert to beginner to never cruised before. But everybody has something to offer, and we really love the contributions that this cruising community shares with everybody. So I'm going to move on, you guys, now to tip number 2, which I think is going to be one that's pretty controversial here in the live chat. So what do you guys think of using a travel agent as a strategy towards getting the best deal on a cruise? Do you think that they're the experts? Do you think that they have incentives for you? Do you think that they have better airfare deals? What do you think are the advantages to using a travel agent to get the best deal? Personally, I like using a travel agent as a strategy for getting a great deal in more ways than one. I find it to be a very important part of my travel process to use a travel agent because they save me time, and time is money. That's the kind of perk that I get out of using a travel agent. So for example, last week when I saw that price drop, I did nothing other than email my travel agent, and I let her do the legwork, and she was on the phone with one of her colleagues spending probably hours getting that price drop taken care of for me. My time is worth money. I would rather spend it with you guys, with my family, or at my job making money, right? And that's probably how all of you feel too. So if you have the right travel agent, in my opinion, working with a travel agent is a good way to secure a bargain. All right, Susan Dykman says, how do you find a good travel agent? The last one I used is doing nothing for us since the initial booking. No communication whatsoever. Susan, it's an excellent question and one that comes up all the time. The best way to find a good travel agent is to ask your friends and see if you know anybody who knows a nice brick and mortar travel agent that can help you out. If not, send me a message and I will give you some recommendations. Over the last few years here at Cruise Tips TV, we've met a lot of travel agents, and we have kind of stockpiled a little list of referrals for you. All right, sounds good. A lot of people are weighing in on how they book their cruises themselves, that they want to go, like Steve says, why go through a middleman? We never use a TA. You get more control over your plan. And I can see that, Steve. I can totally understand that because I'm a little bit of a control person when it comes to vacation planning too. And sometimes I think with travel agents, people get frustrated because they don't get a fast enough response and they want to control it more quickly. And so I can understand that. I think that's a very valid concern and a very valid point. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Lots of comments coming in, you guys. It's hard for me to keep track of them. So if I miss your questions, we're going to try to address them in the second half. Okay, let's see here. Amanda, you're thinking more and more about getting a travel agent. Yeah, you know, if you find the right travel agent, I think it can add a lot of value. All right. My next tip, you guys, and my next question for you is, what do you all think about strategy number 3, which is buying your cruise during wave season? You guys know what wave season is, right? Let's see if we can define wave season. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, can you Google wave season for me and tell me the exact dates of it? Let's see if our audience can beat us to that tonight. Maybe our subscribers can tell us the exact time frame of wave season. I'm gonna venture my guess that wave season starts right after Christmas and it goes through March. I think that's about right with wave season.
April.
March or April?
They'll start advertising in November.
Yeah, they start advertising wave season deals in November. So what is it about wave season? Why is it that people tend to book more during wave season? Is it that the weather is cold in a lot of areas, at least in North America, right? And that they're looking to book something? Is it that the new year is here and they're excited about planning their next adventure? Is it that the cruise lines really are offering those incredible deals and there are deals to be had? What is it about wave season? Okay, so Ken Fleming says January through February, March. Yep, that sounds about right to me. I like it. Oh my gosh, let's see here. Everybody doing okay with the audio? I know Antonella said she lost the audio, but I think everybody else is probably okay here. Let's see. Okay on the audio, guys? All right, good. Okay, so Tiff says, oh my God, what's wave season? Wave season, Tiff, is a time when the cruise lines go crazy promoting deals and pushing cruise sales. And it generally happens between about January and March. So after Christmas, after the holidays die down, you're gonna see all the cruise lines coming on pretty strong with their advertising campaigns. And they generally do secure a lot of bookings during that time. It's a very profitable time of year for the cruise industry, and it can be a great time of year to book. Now, I gotta tell you guys my side of this. I do tend to book during wave season. I tend to book more during late wave season. I like to wait it out a little bit and watch the patterns and kind of see how low they can go and what kind of patterns are developing, what new itineraries are coming out, and I really, really wait for those deals. But I do like booking during wave season. I'm a fan. I don't think it's just a gimmick. I think there really are some deals to be had. Do I think it's the best strategy? And is it the only time I book? No, definitely not. Okay, guys, so number 4 methodology for getting a great deal is taking advantage of the future cruise desk on board your ship. So tell me if you guys do that. Do you use your future cruise desk? And if so, what cruise line do you do this with? Okay, so Krish, you just asked the same question. Krish said, is it better to book your next cruise during your current cruise? So Krish, it depends on the cruise line. It depends on your intent to sail with them again and when. And it depends on whether or not they're offering onboard credit. So when someone asks me this question, what I typically do is say, it can't hurt to stop by the future cruise desk. Generally speaking, with most cruise lines, you do not necessarily have to pick the exact cruise you want to go on to take advantage of the future cruise desk. The cruise lines just want you to put down a deposit, and in exchange for that deposit, they might let you pick your itinerary later, and they will, in most cases, most cruise lines will allow you to transfer your booking over to your own personal travel agent. So you're not cutting your travel agent out of the deal by doing that. So why would you do that? Why would you book another one on board? You know, what if you don't know if you want to sail with that line again? Well, you might do it because you fell in love with that particular cruise line and you think the odds are pretty darn good that in the next few years you're going to get back on that cruise line. And the onboard credit or perks that cruise line may offer you may or may not be worth it. Also, reduced deposits may make it worth it for you, but you've got to make that decision yourself. Do we do it every time? Not every time, and some cruise lines are better than others. Princess has an onboard cruise desk formula that just works really well for me. They offer a reduced deposit, they offer an onboard credit, they allow me to transfer to my travel agent, and I have no reason not to do it because I know I'm going to get back on Princess within 2 years. So that's my feeling on number 4, taking advantage of future cruise booking. So let's see what we've got here. Okay. Vicki Lawson said, I got 2 cruise certificates on NCL, paid $250 for $500 worth of deposits. Didn't have to book on board. That's a good one too. All right, let's see here. I love it. Megan said when they put down a deposit 2 years ago on NCL, they booked the actual trip but didn't have to pick the itinerary until a few months ago, and you got $400 off. Good job. Yeah, that's awesome. Looks like Lucia said they had a reduced deposit, a cheaper deposit. Very good. Nadia said Norwegian gives you 4 years to cruise. That is very generous. Sue G said Princess gives you 2 years to cruise. That's what I'm used to too. It usually seems like it wouldn't be difficult to book something within 2 years, but sometimes you may not go on the same cruise line within 2 years. And I've almost not used my Princess one before. It scared me. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Miss Jomama 76, I'm not sure how generous Carnival is right now with their future cruise desks. It's not something I've explored, but I don't think that they're known for being the best in the business for their onboard future cruise desks. Okay. All right. I love all the comments that are coming in. I can't catch up with all of them, but let's move on to my number 5 tip for getting a great deal and see what you guys think about it. So how about looking for those value-added options that can bring down the total cost? So drink packages, dining, spa deals. Also known kind of in our circle of cruising friends as what we call perks. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, yeah, Norwegian does it. Norwegian's free at sea. But have you guys noticed that it's starting to spread to the other cruise lines? Look what I got in the mail today, guys. Today, I got out of my car, went to the mailbox. I'm gonna fold this over so it's easier for you to see. And I got a Holland America perk package in the mail. It's called Explore 4, Sip, Dine, Share, and Save. So you, on 600 cruises they're offering in the next little bit, you get a signature beverage package, a Pinnacle Grill dinner, free or reduced fares for 3rd and 4th guests, and a 50% reduced deposit. It's not just Norwegian, you guys. Everybody's jumping on this. You guys saw Princess's Sip and Sail, right? So what do I think about this? Do you guys know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say nothing is free, right? Nothing is free. So do I think sometimes these are a good deal? Yeah, definitely. But if you want to put it to the test, compare a cruise going to the same place without a perk package to another cruise with a perk package. Should I say that right? Compare one with a perk package, compare one without it. You might have to look at 2 different cruise lines. But if you're going to pay $3,700 for a cabin with a perk package and one without it is $2,100, you're not saving money, guys. So be careful. What I would say to you is do the math and make sure that it's worth it for you, and really select your perks carefully, because sometimes they're worth it and sometimes they're not. I think with Norwegian, in the very beginning of their free at sea promotion, I think the deals were great. I think we actually got kind of a steal on a Norwegian free at sea promotion with an ultimate dining package. It was a great deal and was really comparable to other cruises going to the same place for the same amount of time. But over the years, I've watched those puppies creep up, and I feel like I'm being charged for everything that they're calling free. So you guys know that we like to be honest with you, and we don't want you to be taken advantage of. So just be careful and do your research. Megan said, Celebrity has done some perk packages when you did a cruise in March 2014. I've seen some of those. Let's see here. What else is everybody taking? We've got some good comments coming in, you guys. Allison said, I'm all about the perks. I can definitely get into cruising every 2 years. Yes, definitely. Okay. Jackie loves that the tips are included. That's a huge savings if you're on a 30-day cruise. Oh my gosh, Jackie, no kidding, right? For Princess, tips are $13.50 a day. Multiply that times 30 days. That's a lot of money. Night Audit said they got the Sip and Sail. Now you feel like you have to drink more. LOL. And heck yeah, you will. You know what, Night Audit? I got Sip and Sail on my Regal Princess cruise that's in 2019, the longest out cruise I've ever booked in my entire life. It's the first time I've ever got one of those with Princess, but I booked it under Sip and Sail with, I think that reduced deposit sale. It was like $1 deposit, and I'm kind of excited about it because I'm kind of excited just to not worry about it or think about the cost of drinks, you know, not feel like it's $10 or $12 every time I grab a drink, and not having to look at the receipts all that much. So it'll be kind of fun. I'm glad you guys got that deal. That's really cool. Let's see what everybody else is saying about this. I see that you guys are talking a lot about drink packages and soda packages. Amanda Graves is saying perks always come with the string attached. Cruise dudes are here. Hey guys, always figure the cost per day per person too. I know. Tommy, is it you, Tommy? I'm assuming it's you. We've been talking a lot about trying to find a simple formula for trying to determine if a drink package is worth it. It's so hard because if you drink beer, your cost per drink is so much lower than if you drink premium cocktails. So it's tough. Carson B said, what is the cheapest cruise that is still really fun? Well, Carson B, if you're forcing me to answer, I'm probably going to say Carnival because you said fun and cheap. Carnival is known for being fun and being a great value. So we could talk more about it at length based on your personal preferences, but that's the short answer. All right. Very cool. Allison is asking if I have any recommendations for holiday cruises. You saved on your first cruise since it was the beginning of the holiday cruise. You know what I would say? Actually, join us on Saturday for a holiday live stream and let's ask the question there. I'm hoping that we'll have some expert kind of holiday cruiser types weighing in and maybe they'll have some tips for you. Okay, very cool. So, what do you guys think about booking early? So our number 6 strategy for getting a cruise deal is booking early, like really early, 12 months to 18 months early. Do you think that's a good way to save money? On some lines, I think it is. On Royal Caribbean, I think it's the best strategy because while you have the greatest cabin choice and the inventory is vast and you're dealing with brand new, beautiful, high-end ships, I think you're gonna get the best deal on those types of cruises. I think Royal Caribbean has probably the tightest price control, meaning that as you get closer to sailing date, you're not going to see a lot of price reductions. But I think with other cruise lines, I think it's probably not quite as essential. What do you all think about booking really super early? Have you experienced that as a great savings tool? Let's see what everyone's saying. All right, Rachel says yes. Book early and pay it off and don't think about it. And that's another psychological strategy. If booking early and paying it off makes the vacation experience more enjoyable for you, then that is a factor. All right, Nadia Thomas says, I always book early. Gives me a chance to get what I want. Night Audit said, it's a good, I lost you, Night Audit. My chat's moving too fast. It's a good plan for getting your cabin, but the wait is killer. Yeah, that's so true. You have better selection if you do it early on, but then you're waiting forever. I know you waited a long time for your cruise too. Oh my goodness. Yep, definitely. All right, so it looks like a lot of you guys are early bookers. Ken Fleming is an early booker. I love it. Justine said, I booked in June for my 2019 cruise on Royal. Got a balcony for $1,040 Canadian for a balcony. Is that a good deal, Justine, for a balcony for one person? Sounds pretty good to me. Maybe middle of the road, I guess, but Canadian. Maybe I need to do the conversion there in my mind. Think about that for just a second. All right. Okay, so Megan said that you found with Royal Caribbean booking earlier has been better in your experience. Yes. All right, Jeff, you're going on my dream cruise. Jeff said, I booked my cruise to Tahiti on the Paul Gauguin in March 2016, and the cruise is in 3 weeks. Jeff, that's wonderful. So you waited over a year and a half for that cruise. Sounds good. Take some pictures and send them to me. I will be living vicariously through you. All right, Keith said, I booked 2 years early and constantly check for better prices. Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. Obby School says, I book early too, but not too early or they can raise the price. That has happened. That's happened to me too. Good thinking. Southern Fried Millennial said, we're booking a 2019 this year so we can have our pick of cabins on the new Carnival Horizon. Yes, only a few of those specialty cabins available and we want one. And you're not going to tell us what specialty cabins you're talking about, are you? You're going to keep them all to yourself. Tell us what they are. Tell us. I love it. Gate Girl booked Royal Caribbean 14 months out and got your exact room and 60% off. Okay. Robert Hodge said, how early is early? Robert, we're saying early is 12 to 18 months. All right. Everybody's saying it's worth the wait. I haven't seen anybody say that they're jumping on last minute cruises here. Looks like Suji is really liking the freebies you get when you book early. Okay. All right. I like it. Very cool. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, any questions I've missed in this first 23 minutes of our chat? Okay, sounds good, you guys. So, number 7 tip is, and I like this one. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to give you the punchline first. That I love this tip, and I think this is one that we should all use to save money. Be flexible with your sailing dates, your cabin choice, and your travel arrangements. Meaning that if you have a little bit of play in the week that you might cruise, you might find that you can save a ton of money. Here's an example. You guys know what the difference would be between a sailing over the week of Christmas and New Year's versus the week of like the first 2 weeks of December. It's probably literally thousands of dollars cheaper per person to book in early December. So having a little bit of flexibility can be a great idea. I also think it's an excellent idea whenever you're looking for a certain cruise. So if you've made up your mind that you want to go on a certain ship on a certain itinerary and you don't have to pick a certain date, look at 3 or 4 dates over a period of months or weeks and look at those price fluctuations. You will be astonished and how much they vary for the most part because of seasonality, holidays, kids being in and out of school, and all kinds of different factors. Alaska is an incredible example of what I'm talking about right now, you guys. Look at the price difference on an Alaskan cruise if you book mid-May versus mid-June or mid-July. Huge. Hundreds to thousands of dollars per cabin, and you can still get really great weather in mid-May, mid to late May. So what do you guys think? Flexible with sailing dates, cabin choice, travel arrangements. Are we flexible, or do we have to have exactly what we want? Oh my gosh, Brandon, yeah, go ahead and ask a question off topic. If we can't answer it today, we'll redirect you. Really quick, you guys, I know this is right smack in the middle of the live stream, but I want to let you guys know what our topics are for the next few days and give you a little general idea of what's going on with our live streams, because as you all know, we're doing live streams 3 days in a row. So tonight, tomorrow night, which is Friday night, and then Saturday night. So tomorrow night, we're going to do a 30-minute, so slightly shorter live stream at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Daylight Time, sorry, on self-debarkation tips. So we're going to talk about whether or not self-debarkation is right for you as a cruiser, or whether you need to use the cruise line assisted plan. So that's tomorrow night. Is that a boring topic for a Friday night? I think it's kind of a cool topic. We don't talk about it very much, and we want to get a little bit more into that. And then Saturday, as most of you already know, this Saturday, so the day after tomorrow, at noon Pacific time, we are going to be talking about Steve Roth's topic, which is holiday cruise tips. So thank you, Steve, for the awesome topic. We're going to be talking all about holiday cruising. We're going to talk about Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and we would love for all of you to come and join us on Saturday to weigh in and talk about that. We will share what we know, and we will ask all of you to weigh in too. Very cool. Okay, Vernon Womack is speaking to my point on the pricing when you're flexible with your dates. Says leaving Saturday after Thanksgiving and saving a few $100s over the week of Thanksgiving. Yeah, definitely at minimum a few $100s, probably even more, right? All right, very cool. Let's see here. Yeah, no, you're just looking at me? Okay, that's acceptable. All right. Oh, thank you, Megan, for doing the conversion. $830 for balcony per person is a good deal. I would say that that's an excellent deal. Okay, Starwood is doing some flexible cruising to Alaska next September. Added your Medallion cruise. You didn't get picked for Medallion, but still going to have a great time cruising. Yeah, you're going to have a great time cruising. I love it. Okay, Southern Fried Millennial said their favorite time is definitely right around Mother's Day, also well outside of hurricane season. Oh, that's a beautiful idea. Is that generally late May, Southern Fried Millennial? I'm ready, Mr. Cruise Tip CD. Yeah.
Well, this is an easy one. It's from Ryan Richard, and he wants to know, if he can't watch, and I'm assuming he means tomorrow, the next day, how does he submit a question?
Ryan Richard, if you want to submit a question for the live stream, wait until this particular live stream saves to replay and leave it in the comments below, and I'll try to do my darndest to get it answered for you on Saturday. I'm assuming that it is about holiday cruising.
Or self-debarkation.
Or self-debarkation. Yeah, let me know and I'll try to get it answered for you, no problem. Okay. All right, Shandon Obregon says, any tips I can get for Royal Caribbean? Shandon, yeah, there's so much we can share with you, but I really, when someone's asking for specific Royal Caribbean tips, I really generally like to direct them to Royal Caribbean blog. Matt Hochberg has a podcast and a wonderful, amazing website that you need to check out. His podcasts are information packed, and I can't even tell you what a wealth of knowledge he is. He'll generally have a podcast that's an entire topic, and he'll focus on an entire topic for a good little while, and then go into Q&A. What are you smiling about, honey?
You just look so pretty.
I look pretty? Oh, thanks. After a long day of work, you can tell me I look pretty any day, and I will really appreciate you. Thank you. My husband is very sweet. So I had gnarly traffic, you guys, coming home from work today. It's risky doing live streams after work because, you know, things happen. And tonight there was like a fire on one highway, and so then that highway got closed, and so everybody was on my highway, and it was just blah. So I don't feel my highway. That's my highway. You're so funny. They were on my highway. Get off my highway. Anyway, you guys probably want to talk about cruises, not my traffic experience, right? Anyway. Yes, everybody agrees with me that Matt Hochberg is thebomb.com when it comes to Royal Caribbean. And I really just said thebomb.com because I'm old and I'm tired. Steve has a quick question. Do you find that sailing the mid-size ships is cheaper than sailing the new mega ships? In other words, does high demand for the newer ships drive up the price? Yep. Yes, Steve, 100%, 100,000% yes. In my experience, when I have priced out the newer ships, a good example would be when I priced out Carnival Vista. It was expensive, especially until the novelty wears off a few years in. It takes a couple of seasons for those prices to come down, so yeah. Definitely. Samantha Vanderwall says, which is your favorite Carnival ship and why? Off the top of my head, I'd say Carnival Splendor. We had a really good time on Carnival Splendor, and I'm glad that it's relocating out to this coast, but it does need a little refurb. Carnival Miracle's cool too. It's old and it needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and it needs a Guy's Burger joint, but I love Miracle. But I can't speak to all of the Carnival ships because I haven't been on all of them. Okay. Haha, Chris, Houston traffic stinks. Yes.
We should do a whole episode on Guy's Burgers.
Guy's Burgers. You guys want to do a whole episode on Guy's Burgers? Why don't we go on a Carnival cruise and we'll do a live episode on Guy's Burgers while I lick the jalapenos off my fingers?
No, that'd be disgusting.
No, my husband doesn't like on-camera eating. So you will notice that when we vlog, there's not a lot of Sherry eating. And that's partially because he's like, I don't really think people want to see that. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want to see more of me eating? My husband's like, no. I'm joking. I don't really want to eat on camera either. That's gross. And then, I mean, after you eat, then I could have like a piece of spinach in my tooth and you would have to see that. That's not acceptable. So no.
Okay, let's move on.
I liked that topic. I thought it was funny. My lobster bisque was good enough on Carnival Miracle to taste on camera. Okay. Denise Matos, when should you look to book Alaska 2019? In the next couple of months, 2019 should be released, Denise. Keep watching. November, December, it should be coming very soon. Okay, so our number 8 tip today, you guys, speaking of being flexible, is maybe considering, if you want a bargain, if you want a cruise deal, maybe considering a repositioning cruise, because sometimes they're a little bit cheaper. So let me know what you guys think about repositioning cruises and if you think they're a good cruise bargain. I've never taken a repositioning cruise that I can remember. Nope, never done it. But I've seen some really cool ones, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I really want to entertain it at some point. Oh my goodness sakes. You guys are so funny in the chat tonight. I love it. Hi, Denise. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here too. Haha. Daryl agrees with you. He hates eating on camera too. Robert caught you. He said he thinks you eating is sexy and he doesn't want all of us to see it. Oh, I don't know about that, Robert. I'm not sure that he does. Am I a dainty eater?
You're very much so.
Oh, I am a dainty eater? I don't talk with my mouth full or anything like that?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, Edgar Ariola, best cruise for a couple with no kids would be Celebrity, in my humble opinion. I just said that without thinking about it, so let's see what everybody else says without thinking about it. Zachary said repositioning cruises are also called open-ended cruises. Love it. Everybody's talking about Guy's Burgers now. See what I've done to you guys? I think we should absolutely do a Guy's Burgers episode. Jasmine wants to know, what is a repositioning cruise? Okay, let's see if I can articulate this well. Jasmine, a repositioning cruise generally happens between cruise seasons when a cruise ship is moving from one home port to another. There are exceptions to that, but the common example that we can give you is, let's just say that a cruise ship is moving either between seasons, between Mexico and Alaska, or is permanently repositioning to another port. So on their way to their new port, they stop in ports that are maybe a little bit off the beaten path or outside of their normal cruise itinerary. So here's an example. A repositioning cruise might be one where a ship has been in the Mexican Riviera all winter and it's moving up to Alaska for the summer, and along the way it's going to go to Astoria, Oregon, San Francisco, Santa Barbara, Monterey, and who knows where else, maybe Victoria, British Columbia, Seattle, on its way to Seattle, whatever, something like that. I'm making things up now. You guys see, this is what happens when I try to be too spontaneous. But anyway, a repositioning cruise can also be when a ship is moving a long distance. So it could be going, you could be going on a 30-day repositioning cruise. I don't think that's all that common, but it could happen. So what do you guys think? Talk more about repositioning cruises. Nadia said transatlantic is technically repositioning. I like it. I'm a Cruiser says, what's the difference in a cruise to nowhere and a repositioning cruise? Well, there aren't many cruises to nowhere anymore because you're not really supposed to do that. There's some kind of a legislation that doesn't permit cruise lines not to stop in any ports. So the difference would be, if it was really a thing, that a cruise to nowhere would have no port stops. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Krish, would I like to come pack for you? Yes, I would love to pack for you. I love packing. Oh my gosh. Barbara, I've never tried a guarantee room, but I would be willing to if it was in a cabin category that I'd be happy with, like a mini suite, but I wouldn't ever do a guarantee in like an inside stateroom. I'd be way too afraid of where I'd end up. Let's see. I saw a question come in that was really good, and I want to get back to it, but it's moving so fast. Yeah.
This is off topic. But Suji is thinking about going on a 10-day Princess cruise out of LA. It's the La Paz and other ports, and she wants to know if we'd recommend.
Suji, would I recommend that cruise? Yes, that is a fantastic cruise. In fact, I was just thinking about it the other night. That one really took my breath away. La Paz and Laredo are very special places. So it's not your average 7-night Mexican Riviera cruise to do the Sea of Cortez. It's more relaxing. There's a very stark, beautiful beauty in Laredo that I want you to experience. So please go there and please watch our vlogs from Star Princess, because the excursion that we did there was something I will absolutely never forget. And in La Paz is a pretty special place too. We swam with whale sharks there. And in Laredo, we had dolphins swimming by our boat for just literally hours. It was absolutely the most clear and breathtaking water. So do it, and know that it is worth the extra days off of work. Absolutely. Okay. Wow, there are so many questions coming in. There was a question that came in a little while ago that I have just missed.
If you tell me.
You know, I don't remember. I don't even remember.
But it was good.
It was good. It was a good question. I'm sure it'll come back. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about our numbers 9, 10, and 11 cruise tips, you guys. Number 9 is to scour the web all the time. You know, there's a million different ways that you can look for cruise deals, but you guys know that I use cruiseline.com all the time. And yes, I know they sponsor some of our episodes, but you guys, I'm telling you, it is the most easy to use way to look at different cruise prices side by side. So you can see all of the different cruise outlets stacked on top of each other. That is something that I do religiously, and I think you should too. It also, I feel like when you use a tool like that, it alleviates that feeling that maybe you're just not getting the best deal. When you see that the cruise prices come in within a few dollars or a few $100s of each other, it gives you a peace of mind to know that you're not booking outside necessarily of a normal price range. So I think that's one of the reasons that why we use that as a valuable resource. All right, you guys, number 10 is a topic that just came up in the chat a few minutes ago, and that is, to save money, you could consider a guarantee cabin. We made a little video about booking a guarantee cabin a long time ago. It's probably a few years old. There's a lot of pros and cons. The pros are that on some cruise lines, booking a guarantee cabin can save you a couple of $100s per person, per stateroom, whatever it may be. The cons would be that you have no idea where you're going to end up. And if you're sensitive to location on a ship and you care about where you are, you probably are taking a pretty big risk and you could end up being unhappy. I've been in very few bad cabins in my cruise history, but one cabin that I had that was really bad was near a bank of elevators. There was some kind of a mechanical malfunction behind the elevator, and there was something that slammed repeatedly into a metal wall in the middle of the night, and they couldn't fix it on a 7-night cruise, and it was torture. So I'm a little scarred and afraid. That was not a guarantee cabin. I actually picked that stupid cabin, but I'm now a little more sensitive, and I like to stay as far away from elevators as I possibly can. I'm the girl who will be in the cabin at the very end of the hall because I think they're quieter. So booking a guarantee cabin can have lots and lots of benefits, but if you're not saving money by booking it, don't even bother. Pick your own cabin would be my advice. All right, Here,
Bradley C. wants to know if cruise line is free.
yes, Bradley C. cruiseline.com is a free resource to you. Absolutely 100% free.
Use the link that we're going to put in.
Yeah, and we'll link to it in the description below once we save this to a replay. It may actually already be in the description below. Usually we can't get it in there until after it saves to replay. So give us about an hour after this episode, and usually it saves by then. And when you click on the link in the description below, Cruise Line knows that you heard about it through us, and that helps our relationship. So we appreciate it. Okay, cool. All right, got some great information coming in here about Guaranty Cabins. Southern Fried Millennial said, we book a Guaranty inside cabin, ended up right under the galley. Wouldn't recommend it unless you're in a suite. I wouldn't. Thank you. Exactly my point. Zachary, I had a Guaranty cabin on Norwegian Escape. Was right next to the District Brew House. Right next to a metal door passengers had to open to get into the passenger hallway. Plus 0 privacy balcony. Oh my God, Zachary, that's my worst nightmare. That sounds horrific. Oh. Terrible. Okay. Any other Guaranty cabin horror stories? Oh, okay. Liberty Cruiser had a good one. We did a Guaranty cabin and ended up in our first balcony. Now I'm hooked. It must have a balcony. Okay, so then upgrades. We didn't talk about that. Upgrades could be a perk, right? Oh my gosh, I'm a Cruiser had a cabin a long time ago that was right next to an anchor, and it was awful. Yeah, there are noisy cabins out there, guys.
My favorite are the deck chairs scraping across the floor.
My husband's personal favorite is deck chairs scraping across the floor. We had a teeny tiny bit of that on our last cruise on Grand Princess, but that was such a mellow ship that it didn't bother us because we knew it was going to end very momentarily after the staff just put the deck chairs away. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Okay. All right, you guys, our number 11 tip tonight, this is our bonus tip, is to consider, to save money, booking a cruise during shoulder season. So first of all, what is shoulder season? Shoulder season is non-busy season for whatever itinerary or area of the world you're cruising in. So it usually varies a lot depending on where you're cruising. So I can't tell you where shoulder season is unless we're talking about exactly where we're cruising in the world. So in the Caribbean, it's going to be a different set of months than in Alaska, but it can be an excellent strategy, and it's one that we use very frequently. It basically just pertains to the time when cruises are a little bit less popular for some populations. A good example of shoulder season might be the first 2 weeks of December for some warmer weather destinations, because you still got kids in school. Not a lot of people are booking those cruises, and the prices can come way down. So I'm a big proponent and fan of shoulder season. What do you guys think about that? I'll give everybody a few moments to respond. Night Audit has a tip for picking your cabin. Look at the deck plans and see what is above and below where you want to be, so you know ahead of time. So Night Audit, my question for you then is, when you are looking at those cabins, I'll try to pull out a deck plan here if I can. Do you always look for cabins above and below you? No public areas. Let's see if this little brochure has an example of what you're talking about. I don't know that it does. I don't think we have any deck plans in here, but another time we'll talk about that. I generally try to book on a cabin that has cabins on top and underneath, but sometimes it's not possible. On our last cruise, we were underneath the buffet, and it wasn't bad. I heard a little bit of chair scrapage, but nothing too dramatic, I would say. So, yeah. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Tanise says, I've heard that it's cheaper to book your cruise on another cruise. Is that true? My husband and I are going on a cruise and we'd like to book another one. Yeah, Tanise, we talked about this a little earlier. Watch the replay a little bit earlier in this episode when we talked about the future cruise desk on board. You're going to find a lot of good information there. Some cruise lines, yes, they do offer reduced deposits and onboard credit that make it worth it for you. All right, Angela has a great example. Angela Hendy, who was also, guys, the winner of our international giveaway, one of the winners of our international giveaway. Hope you got your package. It's coming soon. You should get it within the week. Autumn in the Mediterranean is for sure cheaper than summer for the exact same cruise. Perfect example. That's shoulder season. Okay. Bethany said, our cruise is the first week of December and we got a pretty good deal, I think. 6 nights, balcony, Eastern Caribbean, $1,600. Is that $1,600 per person, Bethany, or for the 2 of you? Wow, your cruise is really soon. You must be getting so excited. I hope you're doing a little bit of cruise shopping. Very exciting. Okay. All right, Chris V says, I want to take my kids on a cruise in the future. I'm on the East Coast. Baltimore would be the port I want to sail out of. Single mom budget. Which cruise line would be the best deal for 3? Kids are 21 and 13. Oh, Chris, I need to check and see what cruise what cruise lines go out of Baltimore. I don't know who you have up there right now. I'm thinking you're probably going to be choosing between Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and Carnival, possibly. I think any of those would be great for you. So look at those 3 lines and see if kids of those ages would probably appreciate them the most, and see what you can find. Okay. All right. I saw someone having a fun, Matthew said, I just realized my cabin is under the buffet, but it's close so I can grab some food and relax. Haha, but the sound is worrisome. Matthew, it actually is really convenient to have your room near the buffet. And not always because of food, but for me, guess what? Coffee in the morning. I loved being able to buzz up one deck to get my coffee on the Grand Princess. I actually really enjoyed that convenience, and it is kind of nice to buzz up and grab food. So I'm with you. I support that. I'm not even laughing at you on that one. I think that's legit. But you're right. Watch for the chair areas, and maybe, try to just be somewhat strategic about it. Maybe book farther towards the back of the ship will probably get you away from some of the more major traffic areas. Okay. Wow, so many questions coming in, you guys. My goodness sakes. Megan, you had the family suite cabin on Celebrity Solstice. It was amazing, and the balcony was great. Kids had their own room in the cabin. That's heaven. Anchor was only a problem returning to Miami. Woke you up at 4:30 a.m. Ew, that's horrific. Oh my gosh. Edgar, bon voyage. That's so exciting. Okay, Zachary's weighing in on Baltimore. Norwegian and Royal are the only ones that sail out of Baltimore, the pride and the grandeur. I think, Zachary, that the question that came in earlier, what would you say? Do you think she'll be happy on either one? I think she probably will. Okay. Cheryl said Matthew take some earplugs just in case. SoCal Seth said chair hogs should walk the plank. Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves too. The chair hog thing really bugs me because I really want to see the cruise lines enforcing it. They put signs up everywhere, but if you say you're going to take their stuff after 20 or 30 minutes, I think it should be done, and it would stop. We need to stop the madness, guys. Stop the madness. Cool. Let's see here. Yes.
Unrelated.
Okay,
Anne Marie Passaretti. Have you ever cruised Ruby Princess to Alaska?
Oh, I saw that one. Anne-Marie, we've never sailed Ruby Princess to Alaska, but we've been on many other cruises to Alaska. Diamond Princess, Sapphire Princess,
Ruby's
Golden, Grand. Have we been on Ruby's sister ship?
I think so.
Really?
Isn't it the same as...
Is it the same class as the Sapphire Princess? It might be. You can't go wrong with Princess to Alaska. Princess and Holland America do a beautiful job in Alaska, and I highly recommend it, and I've heard nothing but wonderful things about the Ruby. Lori Pencil says, how about a room under the spa? I would be hesitant about that because of running water noises, jacuzzi noises. That would be something I would avoid. I don't know why. It just, when you said that, I thought to myself, oh, no, I wouldn't want to do that. Laurel, why not have coffee delivered to my cabin? Excellent question. Laurel, when you watch our vlogs, you'll see that I'm a very early riser. I get up a few hours earlier than my husband and son, and so I like to sneak out of the room and go get my coffee so I don't wake them up. Sometimes I'll order it early. If we're going on an early excursion, we'll all wake up at the same time. And sometimes if I'm really relaxing on a cruise, I'll start to sleep in, but my work schedule at home has me up pretty early, so it's hard for me to adjust. All right, Alice said Ruby is the best. I like it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Jennifer Cruz says, going on Norwegian Escape next August. Have you been on the Escape? Do you like it? I haven't, Jennifer. We're going on Bliss next year, and that's probably the closest ship that will get us to something like Escape, but we've never been on it. I've heard great things. I've heard it's a wonderfully laid out ship. There's some funky cabin issues on it, but nothing major. I think you should definitely consider it. Escape is a fun ship. It's good for people who like a lot of energy. It's a good party ship. I think you're gonna love it. Let's see what we have here. Boy, you guys, we have so many questions coming in. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, help me out here. Let's see. Oh, Ms. Mary says, have you heard of a virtual balcony? That's what I have for my room on Royal Caribbean. Yeah, I've heard of those before, where you have an inside cabin, but there is some kind of a a virtual viewpoint over the area that would be a balcony, and it shows you the outside of the ship, right? That's a virtual balcony. They're pretty cool. I think that would be really nice. I would love to do that, and I think it would give you a sense of being connected to the outdoors. Oh my gosh, love it. Michelle said, favorite cabin is interior on the 5th to 6th floor. The total blackout, along with the sound of the gentle hum of the engine, is perfection. Yeah, I think that's interesting because on the 5th to 6th floor, Michelle, you're pretty low and you're going to get some engine vibration on an older ship. That's a very interesting strategy. Okay. Let's see. Ken says, Carnival Dream on November 19th this year to Eastern Caribbean. We're staying on the 7th floor in a suite. Any pros or cons for this area? Room 7-3. I don't know specifically about 7th floor on a suite on Carnival Dream. I'd have to see a deck plan, Ken, to see what's around you. I would say if you're close to the casino or the theaters, that might be bad. Other than that, I wouldn't worry too much about it. A 7th floor could also be quite close to a promenade deck, which isn't necessarily bad in and of itself, but 7th floor is generally close to public areas. So being in a suite, you should have enough sound kind of cushion and sound protection to be okay. The cruise dudes, Tommy recommends Ruby. Oh yeah, that's right, Tommy went on Ruby. And you guys, Tommy does have a YouTube channel that probably has a little bit of coverage of that. And they also have a podcast, and they also have Awesome Seawind Mag that is a fantastic subscription-based service that you've got to check out. It's an app that you can download on your phone. It's a lot of fun. You need to check that out. Victoria said, has anyone ever been in a cove balcony? Victoria, I haven't been in a cove balcony, but I'm assuming that you're talking about the ones on Carnival, which are balconies that are relatively low on the ship. They are also quite sheltered, and they're closer to the water line. So there's a lot of pros and cons to those. If you Google that or check YouTube, there's tons of videos on cove balconies that will show you some really beautiful footage of them. Okay, let's see here. Tiffany just came off the Carnival Liberty and you love the cruise director. That's awesome. Very cool. Okay. Yeah.
Bradley C. wants to know if we have done any California coast cruises since we live in California.
No, Bradley C. We haven't done any California coastal cruises because we live here. So it would be like we could just go on a road trip instead. So I don't want to do it. I'm not really that interested in it because it's just not that exciting to me. The cruises, I've seen some that are a good deal and they stop in some beautiful ports and places that I would love to visit, but I think we're more likely to venture out a little bit more, especially because we cruise so much on the West Coast. I feel like we need to try to get a little farther away. Yeah. Did you
I have my own question.
Okay, Mr. Cruise Tips TV has his own question.
Well, we've done 11 tips now. Mm-hmm. Have we missed any? Okay,
guys, what tips have we missed? Mr. Cruise Tips TV wants to know, what bargain cruising tips have we missed? How do you guys get a great deal?
Let's put them in the chat.
Let's go. Put them in the chat, guys. I'm going to read them out loud. Sue, I got a, on that 10-day cruise to La Paz, did we have an inside cabin? Did we? Yeah, I think we did. No, we had a balcony. We had a balcony and it was great. And it was affordable too. Okay. Oh my gosh. Mike and Cheryl, I'm sorry it's so late. Good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for staying up late. I'm getting tired too. I hear you guys. Good night. All right, I'm waiting for some good cruise deals, guys. Bring it. Bradley, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, let's see here. Mary Child said something about the NCL Stars. You've read mixed reviews on the ship. I love Norwegian Star. I think it's a wonderful ship. We loved it. Okay, SoCal Seth said it's not budget friendly, but did you know Ritz-Carlton is getting into cruising? Yes. It's going to be called Ritz-Carlton Yachts starting in 2019. Yes, we did hear about that. It'll probably be a little out of our price range, but we'll be sure to report on that when it happens. Okay, here we go, guys. Here come the tips. Ready? Krista said NCL free drink package. That's my tip. Krista, you're keeping it simple tonight. All right, Mrs. WW says book on board to get a great deal. Okay. What do we have here? Tips are coming in. Tips are coming in. Oh my goodness, you guys are so fast. I can't keep up with you.
Krish has watched Amazon for things that you need.
Oh yeah, Krish is budget shopping. Watch Amazon for budget shopping, and you got to use our wonderful little shop too, you guys, on Amazon. Let's see here. You're welcome, Tommy. Thanks for jumping in tonight. It's good to hear from you guys. Okay. Terrible at usernames. That is funny. I signed up for a Carnival credit card and got $100 in onboard credit that I used for the bar. That's a great tip. Excellent. Edgar Areola says, I work for Target and they offer discounts for employees on some cruise lines. Really? That's awesome, Edgar. Very cool. Okay, here we go. More of them coming in, guys. All right. Nadia Thomas says, NCL third and fourth passenger free plus the drink package. Jackie says, we own shares in Carnival and we get onboard credit. Yes, Jackie, I really need to buy some Carnival shares. Amanda said, I've noticed that being a past guest and senior doesn't get you deals. It depends on the line, Amanda. Lots of cruise lines do offer some past guest deals, but you're really more likely to get onboard perks. Okay, Ed Mark has a good money-saving tip here. Booking excursions on your own and not through the cruise line can save some money. Very good job. Denise Matos says, cheap, first week in January, kids can go still out of school. Good one, I like that. Okay, cruise dudes, Tommy says, and don't forget Sherry writes for Seawind. Yes, I do, guys. I write an article every quarter for Seawind, and I just wrote a really fun one. I hope that Scott got my email. I emailed him my article very recently. Okay, let's see here. Matthew said, don't pay full price and wait until the last minute to get an upgrade, almost always. Okay, Allison said, I believe my stateroom for my first cruise is near the aft elevator. Should I change my stateroom? What would you recommend? If it's right next to it, maybe change it, Allison. I wouldn't worry too terribly much in an aft elevator bank. It's more the midship ones, but if you think it's gonna bother you, get out of there. Get down the hallway just a little bit more. Okay. Keith said, I book through cruise lines and call. Don't book online. You can get little to big deals. And when you talk to someone on the phone, sometimes they're willing to help you. Peter said Disney has free drinks. You mean like soda and things, right? Very good. Bye, Eve. See you tomorrow. Okay, Michael DeBoard says, watching the Carnival Fair viewer and any savings gets you onboard credit. Very good. Samantha says, is green eggs and ham breakfast on most of the Carnival ships? Yes, it's Seuss at Sea is on most of the ships. Okay, cool. Let's see, Ainsley. Hi, Ainsley. Good to see you. All right, here we go. Who said, oh, I lost this tip. I've got to get back. Okay. Southern Fried Millennial said, it's not really a deal, but a money-saving tip. Pick one port day to stay on the ship. Enjoy the ship's included amenities, practically all to yourself. I love that. You're a true cruiser if you're willing to do that. Ainsley, bon voyage. Sounds really good. Okay, somebody said here, Laurel said sign up for cruise line emails and check Black Friday. Oh, that's a very good one. Awesome. Okay, what else do we have here? Book a pre-cruise hotel that has a free shuttle from the airport and to the port. Great tip. Bye, Jen. Good to see you. Are you guys on the road? Be safe. I always enjoy following along with you on Facebook. Be careful out there. Pumpkin Pie says free drink at the Red Frog pub. If you're the first one on there, Carnival. Yeah, cool. Let's see what else. We've got some good ones here. Okay. If you're a union member, Laurel says you should check their site. You just got an email on hotels. Amy said find a good travel agent and cherish them. Yeah, I agree. They really are good. Denise said watch for kids sale free deals. Excellent tip. Nady says call every day to see if the price drops. I did, and I got $200 onboard credit. Yes, getting onboard credit if your price drops is an excellent one. Amanda says Norwegian has a $50 deposit. Cool. All right, let's see here. Poops McGee just booked a Carnival Elation cruise on Cruise Compete and got $100 on board. Very good. Krista said, know your cruise staff by name. You'll have a better cruise, and they will too. Liberty Cruiser says, look for free shuttles to and from the airport and ship. And Ainsley said, last minute vacations on Vacations to Go has a 90-day ticker. Very good. All right, awesome, you guys. So we are at our 1 hour point. It's time to sign off and say thank you so much to everyone for joining us for our live stream tonight. Come back tomorrow for a short one. We're gonna do 30 minutes. We're gonna talk about self-debarkation. I know that's kind of a specific topic, but you're always welcome to bring other questions. And then join us again Saturday for our live stream all about holiday cruising. Thank you guys so very much. I'm gonna go have my dinner now. It was wonderful to have you all here on a weeknight with us for Vlogtoberfest. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. See you on the high seas for our next live stream. Bye.
Hey, click me to subscribe.